American football. It's a sport where large groups of men up to 300 pounds gather every Sunday to dogpile on top of one another. Ask an NFL fan and they'll tell you there's something here for everyone. Some fans can be found drunk at the tailgate outside of the stadium, and other fans can be caught on TikTok trolling their boyfriends about Taylor Swift.
I can't believe Travis Kelce became famous overnight.
What are you talking about? He's been famous for like the last 10 years of his career.
No, Taylor Swift made him famous. Like,
no.
They started dating.
She didn't make him famous. He's been famous for years.
Nobody knows who he was.
Yes, they did. He's the best tight end in the entire NFL. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's safe to say football is wildly popular stateside. Personally, I've never been into it, so I don't understand the appeal of a weekly CTE, but what I do understand is that football fans love creating montages of their favorite players like Dragon Ball fans love creating AMVs. Matter of fact, one hit my For You page that had one of the latest Lil Tecca songs playing in the background. Sounded pretty good, so I did my research and I found out Lil Tecca recently dropped a new album. And like Tony the Tiger, I told myself, great, I'll put Lil Tecca's new Tech album in heavy rotation this week, and then I'll produce a video on it next week. Well, next week comes, I begin the writing process for another classic I'm Just Saying video. And I wasn't even 2 paragraphs into writing my Tecca video when a nuclear level bomb hit the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, Champagne Papi had dropped a brand new video for the savior of rap music, Adonis. Now, I don't know a lot about football, but Madden 04, you know, the best one, you know, the one with Mike Vick on the cover, it did teach me what an audible is. I said to myself, that Lil Tecca video can wait. Probably wasn't gonna get many views anyway. So instead, let's shift our focus to doing a full breakdown for the music video on Adonis Graham's My Man. Before we do, allow me to set the tone for those of you who are not in the know. Last week, Drake dropped his highly anticipated album titled For All the Dogs. It's a 23-song project with a few catchy tunes and a whole lot of filler. Now, I go more into depth in my review of the album titled Drake Disappointed All the Dogs, but here's what really matters, okay? On the album, track 5 is called Daylight. Drake raps with maximum intensity about catching bodies in broad daylight, right? And despite nobody believing those claims, that did not stop the light-skinned Keith Sweat from doing something even more unthinkable. He included his 6-year-old son, Adonis Graham, at the end of that record. At the end of Daylight, there was this beat switch, and then this child just starts randomly rapping. This left the entire internet in shock. It was so unexpected. I mean, I saw numerous Twitter threads with people asking what was their GOAT Drake thinking about by adding this random freestyle from someone who still watches Bluey. The answer's simple. Drake is not dumb. He does everything with intention. Drake included Adonis on the album because
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way.
The interesting thing is that when Adonis appears on the album, during his part, he starts to fade away, yet he continues to rap. To me, it was obvious there were some bars that were left off the album, and we finally got them in the full release of the music video. So today, I want to take the time to break down some of my favorite bars from this 2-minute and 56-minute masterpiece. Let's start with the basics. Now, in the hook, he says, "Don't talk to my man like that. I like it when you like it. My man. My man." This is the bar that a lot of you have already heard, but how many of you actually have comprehended what this young Saiyan prince is saying? When he says, "Don't talk to my man like that," it's in reference to his dad, Wheelchair Jimmy. See, he's asking you, the listener, to respect his dad because his dad is a hard-working man. "I like it when you like it" is his way of saying positivity is contagious. If you like it, then I like it. And if you ask me, the world could use more positive energy, so I am rocking with this message. At the 1-minute and 37-minute mark, Adonis says, "I was waiting for this moment to arrive," and then it cuts to him lifting weights in the video. This is him letting the world know that the lights aren't too bright. Some of you might feel like this is too much too soon for a kid, but he has been in the hyperbolic time chamber putting in work, and he's letting you know. But here's the part that many of you will miss if you're not paying attention. During this moment, he's lifting what looks like a 5-pound dumbbell. That, sir, is a metaphor. See, his father, the certified lover boy, is currently beefing with Def Jam Vendetta rapper Joe Budden. But here's what many of you don't understand about Def Jam Vendetta rapper Joe Budden. Outside of Pump It Up, Joe did have some success with music. His group Slaughterhouse did their thing, but more importantly, on the solo tip, Joe had a mixtape series called Mood Music. It went triple plastic on datpiff.com. Mood Music featured 4 entries in that series of mixtapes. Now let me ask you a question. How much weight is Adonis holding in the video again? If you guessed 5 pounds, you'd you'd be correct. Therefore, Adonis is saying, don't talk to my dad like that. Put some respect on his name, because the reality is that when it comes to this music stuff, Drake always has one up on you, Joe Budden, Def Jam Vendetta rapper. Now, at the 1 minute and 39 second mark, Adonis says, I was driving in the car and then I lost my car. This bar is a straight flex and a triple entendre, by the way. In the slickest way possible, this kid said he's rich enough that he owns a car at the age of 6. He's also the world's youngest licensed driver, and he lost his car, but he doesn't care because that's a 2023 model and that's old. We're already copping the 2024 model. At the 1 minute and 45 second mark, he says, I was playing on my iPad and then I broke my iPad. This dude is not afraid to admit he's one of them iPad kids. He's also letting you subtly know he's not your average iPad kid either. Lil man broke his iPad because he's passionate when he plays games on his tablet. He's not interested in watching reruns of Yo Gabba Gabba. He's breaking iPad screens because he's so close to breaking the world record in Subway Surfers. He also doesn't care if the screen breaks because he's rich enough to cop another one the same day. At the 1 minute and 52 minute mark, Adonis says, I'm going to my house to see my dad. This guy is 6 years old and he's already preaching about financial literacy. The easiest and most tried and true method of building generational wealth in America has always been via home ownership. He's trying to spread the message to the people who don't get it. And the best part is who's waiting at Adonis's house? Drake. Do you have Drake at your house? No? That's what I thought. But at the 2 minute and 3 second mark, he says, I'm playing basketball. And this line sounds simple, but there is depth to it. He's letting you know he's playing basketball because he's well aware that his dad Drake is 6'2", and there's a chance he'll be at least 6 foot himself when he grows up. So just in case flipping homes doesn't work, Adonis can go to the NBA as a backup plan. And if you don't believe me, why did he follow up that basketball line with 10,000 days in the North? 10,000 weekends in the North, 10,000 hours in, you know? It's because he's been putting in work. That's why they had him running around in the gym in that video. He's been doing the Brickley drills from NBA 2K. But the best part about this song is the way he ends the verse by saying, "Ha-ho!" This bar was clearly a callback to Super Mario. Often Mario can be heard in games saying, hee, ha, ha, ho, ho. So why reference Mario? It's a metaphor. No man in the history of gaming has held more jobs than Super Mario. He's a literal superhero, plumber, tennis player, basketball player, golf player, Olympian, soccer player, a boxing ref, and so much more. There's not a thing Mario can't do, and that's how Adonis feels right now. Thus him paying homage to Mario with the ha-ho. And the icing on the cake for this song is that the comments are turned off for this music video. Most would assume it's because the mother and father didn't want strangers on the internet attacking their son, who's clearly just having fun, but nope. It's because Adonis don't care what y'all got to say. Who are you? He's popping, you're not. Get good. Especially you, Joe Budden, because the reality is that this song put everybody in a good mood. That sounds like real mood music to me, but hey, I'm just saying. Now, if you made it to this part of the video, that means you clearly enjoy the content. So do me a favor and hit the like button because it helps the channel grow. And if you're new here, hey, I produce satirical pop culture related content like this weekly. So do me a favor and subscribe if you're new if you want more content like this. Now, as for this video, if you couldn't tell, it's all one big joke. Please do not take this seriously. Please do not attack Adonis. He's a child. Actually, I only wrote this with the sole purpose of promoting my video on Drake's For All the Dogs. So if you want to hear some actual in-depth thoughts on it with a few jokes sprinkled in, click the card on the screen and see why Drake disappointed all of the dogs.